on Inside ChampCar, racing in the Wolverine state. Welcome to Inside ChampCar. I am Brian Bielanski. My partner.
I'm Bill Strong.
Yeah, he's my partner.
I didn't know if I was supposed to answer or not.
No, you jumped in. I was going to say my partner in crime, Bill Strong.
There we go.
This week on the show, a look back at a weekend of racing at Gingerman, a look ahead at Thompson, our guest from Two Brothers Racing, which I found out is not really two brothers. He is Greg Kuhn. He joins us in the second half of the show. Hello.
Kind of is two brothers. He explains it.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to listen to find out why I was confused.
Yeah.
I mean,
true. Yes.
I'm generally confused, but
yeah.
No one should be surprised by that. Dazed and confused, typically. Gingerman this weekend. You're back. You look like you're well rested.
Nice and tan. It was nice and warm up there. We had a little bit of rain. It was fun, man.
Yeah.
The drive up there was good. I almost died like 3 times in traffic in where was that? Dayton, of all places, you know. But other than that, it was pretty good.
Have you been to Wright-Patterson?
No, I keep wanting to go. One of my drivers lives up there, and he keeps telling me I need to go there. I want to see the Valkyrie airplane.
You gotta
go. I grew up with that as my dream airplane, wanting to see fly. Grew up around a Navy base, so the plane thing is kind of a thing for me.
Yeah.
Haven't been there. I thought about stopping on the way back, but I have so much work to do, and we've got our rule book coming out here in a couple of weeks, and I keep looking at my email, seeing if they're going to send it to me, the board. But I think they're talking. They're doing a meeting. The board's doing a meeting, I believe, about right now. So who knows what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Hopefully not me. I doubt they are.
They probably
not
are.
even being mentioned. No.
They probably are.
But yeah, it was a good event up there. Chelsea Vickery put that race on. Always fun working with Chelsea.
Yep.
She just paces and paces and paces and paces and paces and paces some more. But she gets nervous before these races. But I'll tell you what, that woman can really put on a race. And we tried something new.
Uh-oh.
So you saw that purple 35 we did at VAR, right?
Yep.
So we go to, when we go to a yellow flag, instead of sending out the pace car, we'll send out we'll show a purple 35, which is a purple flag or purple light, and on the dashboard with the flagtronics, and the drivers slow down to 35 miles an hour,
right?
Which is extremely slow compared to the 140 they were doing just 5 minutes earlier.
So what did you try?
We tried
purple 50,
purple 35s, but without the flags. The
so what does that
flaggers
mean?
didn't have a flag.
Okay.
That means what we did was Chelsea would call the yellow, we'd get a call, hey, car stuck or whatever.
Right.
So we'd put everybody under full course yellow. We'd wait 15, 20 seconds, let everybody get slowed down, and then we throw out the purple 35. Everybody would slow down to 35 miles an hour. You could actually see it on the screen of our track controller and software. And with the marching ants, it shows displays everybody's speed. And as soon as everybody got down to speed, they would send safety out to go pick up whoever. And once the scene was cleaned up, safety was off course, you'd then send the flag status. All the flaggers would pull their flags in, and we'd only go by our signs, which are purple, and what's on their dashboard with the flagtronics. And then once that was done, we would then go pull it back and go to yellow, a double yellow, which then is 70% racing speed or something like that, 60%. Yeah. So then they'd pick speed back up. We'd hold that for about 10, 15 seconds, and then we'd go green. So basically a virtual safety car out there. People aren't changing positions. They're not racing to the next guy in front of them.
Sure.
Or hope they weren't. And then they'd go. Now, we talked about this during the drivers meeting. We did find that maybe somebody didn't show up to that drivers meeting because that when first time they pulled out the purple 35, I think he thought that was a red flag and came to a complete stop on the front straightaway. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a scary moment, but lots of yelling in the tower, like, move it, But he got it, and he got it and went on. But
drivers meetings are important, people.
Very important. You got to go to those drivers meetings because
Yep.
we used to do them, and we do them every now and then where we'll, especially some of the really big racers where we know guys don't always go to the drivers meeting. We have some really important info. We'll make sure that all drivers have a secondary armband.
Oh.
So when they get to pit out and they don't have that secondary armband, we know they weren't at the drivers meeting.
Oh,
So
that's
and then we send them back to the paddock. You want to see some upset guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And women.
I bet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so do you actually have it in the rule book like 70% for a double yellow?
Yeah, something like that. I
Because
don't know what
a lot of racing series, there is no actual, other than when you're at the incident, you don't have to slow down under a double
Yeah,
yellow.
oh no, this is slowing down, and we'll black flag you for going too fast under the yellow. And it is, I think, 70% race speed.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I remember I got yelled at by our founder at our first ChampCar race, and he said I just happened to be the lead car out, and he said, 70% race speed out there. We'll, make sure your transponders are working. Then we'll go green. We'll throw the green flag. So I'm out there and I look in the mirror. And everybody's way back there, and they're like 70% race speed. I am doing 70% race speed. Everybody else wasn't. Yeah, he yelled at me a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. That sounds like a
yeah.
theme with you.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so
But yeah, it was a good weekend. We had some winners and we had some losers. Everybody that did not win was a loser. There's some people that don't like it when I say that. They're usually young and probably received a lot of trophies when they were kids. But crank anchors, Tyler Pedersen's car, Porter Director chair. Doesn't race much because of his family life and racing. He's got kids now, and you know how that goes. Hard to find the time to do anything, really.
Yeah.
And he's running his own business now. So he just pulled his car out of mothballs, showed up to the track, dusted it off a little bit, which I wish he'd dusted off a lot because it has glitter on it. And I hate going home with glitter on me because it just attracts to you. Then you have to explain why you have glitter on you. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really know? Okay. So Crank Anchors gets the win on Saturday. And the reason he got the win, he was not going to win that race. Tire Rack had that race. They had it in hand, not by a large margin, but they had that race won until a purple 35 came out and Tyler was in the perfect spot on track. He came in and Tire Rack, the TR Motorsports car, was stuck at the purple 35, had to make a complete lap. And by the time he got back in, we almost went green just a couple seconds later, and he got stuck and under the yellow. Under the pit stop rules of 5 minutes, and that put him a lap down, and he just could not catch back up. So Pedersen planned that perfect, great execution, and that's how you win these races.
That's right. You sometimes you got to take advantage of the moment when you got it.
And then TR Motorsports pulled out a second place, and Two Brothers Racing, who we're speaking to in a little bit here, they took third place in their Mercedes. 2T Racing and their Mazda Miata took fourth. Not a lot of Miatas in this race. I think there was like 3 or 4. And British American Racing took sixth. Now going to Sunday, and same track, 7 hours though. Over a 7-hour period, TR Motorsports wins this race.
Wow.
And they win it by 2 laps against Two Brothers, finishes second. Tyler actually put in his reserve drivers, the guys that don't get a lot of seat time in his car, which was actually pretty cool. And they were able to get a respectable 4th place.
Nothing wrong with that.
And no. And British American Racing finished third in their BMW. And they actually could have had second place, but there was a little incident where they had a wheel get knocked. Parts of the wheel came off and they had to come in and do a quick tire change towards the end of the race. But that hurt them a little bit. And PBR Light BMW finished 5th. Swampfoot Subaru Impreza. Wait, am I saying that right? A Subaru in 6th place. Oh my goodness. Yep. Hound Dogs in 7th, and Williams Racing Group in 8th, and Bucksnort in 9th. Bucksnort, they've been with ChampCar since the very beginning. And it was great to see them back. They took a 3 or 4 year hiatus, family, work, life got in the way.
Yep.
And they patched or they did a cool little paint job on their car. You know, it's all camouflaged with digital camouflage and that. And then of course their trademarked deer horns on the roof of their BMW E30. They hadn't raced with us for a while, still did pretty good. Found that the speed creep was not as big as they thought, but it was they were able to figure out that they're going to need bigger tires to match what the other teams are doing. So that was their next change, put those big 245s on it, 15-inch wheels.
Nice.
But you know, just spend more money. That's what you do.
Money.
Yeah. Yep. And that race was good. Tire Rack guys are pretty cool. We had a good talk with them during the race. We did a 2-hour quiet hour on Sunday. Had a good talk with them about sponsorships and stuff like that. And they're good guys. We had the head of marketing, one of the test drivers that does all the tire reviews, TJ Campbell. He was there. Just lots of cool people. Bob, who does all the scanning.
Yep.
You know, of the wheel wells. We talked to him, Bob Kobayashi. We talked to him recently. But yeah, fun weekend, good weather. We had a little bit of rain. Well, the rain fell after or halfway through impound. Luckily, I'd got all my stuff done, and I said, "Oh, I'm going in." As soon as I got in the tower, it just came down.
Nice.
Yeah, fun weekend.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, I got a tech tip tonight. We got to talk about that.
Well,
after we listen to our team.
I was going to say, you were able to catch up with all the winners in Victory Lane, so we're going to take a listen to that. And
the losers, only the winners.
Exactly. And when we come back, we'll do the tech tip.
Hey, all right, down here, Crank Anchors Racing, winner of the Gingerman 8-hour on Saturday here, Tyler Pedersen. Hell of a team effort out there to beat Tire Rack.
Yeah, our first driver put us in a really big bind going off on the pace lap today, so we had to start pretty much a lap down. Came through, full team effort, no issues today. So yeah, it was great race for us. So
who are your drivers this weekend?
Oh,
today
yeah,
actually.
Yeah, Jeremy Meiser, Rob Ravenstein, and then Eric Hardy closing it out, and then I went in as well. So
cool. What would now the guys are complaining about some gear issues?
Yeah, so it's popping out of gears. We only really had 4th and 5th gear today, and we run this track in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So for my stint and Rob's stint, we only had about 4th gear that we were running in. So had some issues, and at the end there, Eric was saying that every time you would brake, it would pop out of gear. So you had to actually give it throttle to keep it in gear and keep the car moving. So heck of an effort by him, and it was a good race. So
cool. Where are you guys out of?
Eden, Ohio, South Carolina, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So we're all over the place.
You got any sponsors?
You, my wife.
There you go.
My wife and kids. So thank you, Eleanor, Sadie, and Sloan.
There you go.
So.
All right, guys. Congratulations, winner on Saturday.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Gingerman, 7-hour here, and we are with TR Motorsports, number 318, TireRack.com, Bob Kobayashi. I know you're pointing at somebody else, but you're standing right here, buddy. That car did not sound too good on that last lap.
Mysterious misfire. I don't know what it is, but we had enough of a lead to finish with a 3-lap margin, something like that. So actually what really paid off during the day was we made the right decisions early on, ran clean, had the yellow flags, the full course cautions in our favor. We picked them right at the right time and saved and got our lead that way, and it really paid off.
Yeah, you can see it as yesterday. We saw what happened yesterday when you guys got stuck behind a purple 35. That allowed Tyler to kind of get a little lead, and he pretty much held it. And you guys didn't fall for that today.
Yeah, we couldn't make up that gap on yesterday, but today we made all the right calls, and it's a great team effort. I mean, I couldn't say enough for this. It's been 5 years for us in this season in this car, and then we have a couple second place overalls, a lot of top fives. Finally, we got one.
Yes. All right, who were your drivers today?
Myself, Bob Kobayashi, I was first. Then we had Chris Harvey, TJ Campbell, and then Woody Rogers, or John Rogers, was our last driver.
Cool. Is it John or Woody?
Officially John.
We all know him as Woody.
Woody at Tire Rack. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, somebody said John yesterday. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah. See, that was the pause in the name because they all have fake names other than me.
Yes.
There
you go. There you go. Yeah. So tell us about the tires you were using today.
New Bridgestone RS. So I think we have it figured out. We're getting real close. This was our second race on them, so still learning. I think we got it.
What's there to learn on a tire? Don't you just put a tire on and go race?
No, there was a little tuning to the tire. You got to figure out the right pressure, the right suspension settings, the right alignment, and to really make it work well.
Cool. And you're not going to give those secrets up yet, are you?
Well, it's specific to the car.
There you go. All right, so that won't work on my Opel. All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. First place here at Gingerman, 7-hour, TireRack.com, TR Motorsports. Good race, guys.
Yep, thanks, Bill.
All right, good one.
And as always, Bill, not quite as much as it is after the 24-hour in Virginia. They sound tired.
It's rough, man.
Yeah.
It's when you sit in that car for 2 hours and you're up at the top and there's a lot of stress that you wouldn't think you have. And, especially, we'll listen to our team later on this evening, but, they're out there having fun, but it's stressful fun.
Yeah. It's good fun. It's the best kind of stress. It really is.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what time it is, Bill, right?
I believe I do.
Here we go. Tech tip time. All right, you got a good one this week. I like this one.
Yes. So, we had we were at a race this past weekend where, it rained a little bit and it's humid.
Right.
Then it was cool at nighttime and there's rivers around us and a big thing called Lake Michigan.
Yep.
Like that. It's Lake of the Michigan.
It's a great lake.
Yeah, I don't know about great. It was pretty flat. There was no waves. I was expecting to see, 8-foot tall waves on this Lake Michigan. Didn't see them, but what we did see is a lot of fog.
I was going to say, did you see the lake? Because if you saw the lake at Gingerman, you got some problems.
No. In town, we saw it.
Okay.
But it's we had a lot of fog, especially in the early morning. So what does fog do? It sticks to everything. Like your windows.
Right.
No problem. Just use your wipers, right?
No.
So what do you do when the fog's on the inside of your window because you left your car out all night? Not everybody throws them in the trailer. Not everybody has an enclosed trailer. So they keep in the paddock. You put it under shelter. Sometimes that works, sometimes not. But hey, go get yourself a car cover, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get car covers at? Man, those things are expensive. You see them advertised on TV all the time. 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. Takes snow. Meteor falls on it. Protects the car. We don't need that. We don't need that. Well, we saw one recently at Nelson Ledges. Looked like a huge balloon, with the heat from underneath it. The plastic one that they threw over. That's kind of cool. That would help protect the car. But
just
these
saran wrap it.
Saran wrap. Yeah, that would just melt to the paint, especially when they're hot.
Yep.
After you ran it for the day.
Exactly.
But cheap car covers, man. You can pick up cheap car covers on the internet all over the place. Just get a really big one. Who cares how if it fits the car properly? You just want a smaller one. You want, a bigger one.
Yes.
I actually had one for a Mercedes C-Class. Wait, E-Class.
For the
E-Class.
Opel?
No. Well, yes and no. No, for the MR2.
Oh, okay.
And it actually fit over. It was large enough to where it fit over my wing and everything. And we could just bungee it down.
Well, that's the hard part with all these cars and all these wings. You either have to cut holes in the cover and just bungee it down around the wing because you don't have to cover the wing.
No, the only thing we cut a hole in was for the antenna. So our antenna was sitting in the center of the roof, and it's just a little ball and a little 6-inch antenna. And I just cut a hole in there. You could go through and do it professional and iron on a hole patch so that it doesn't rip like mine did. But we didn't care because I found it at a junkyard, man.
Yeah,
it was in a trunk and just put it on the car, and it covered the wing, covered the nose, kept the mud out, the rain, the snow, the ice, whatever.
Sure.
It was actually a really nice car cover. But I did a real quick search on car covers. I found some. Summit Racing sells a $36 one. It's not, super expensive. Most people can afford $36. Joe's Hot Rod, Joe's, they do the what do you call it? Circle Track supplies and stuff like that. They sell one for $150. All the way up to I thought, well, let's search for cars with wings.
Yeah.
And it's a nice one. Because some people, they have some money and they buy nice things.
Right.
Porsche GT3, there's a really nice one for over $600.
There you go.
Stretchy fabric and it goes over the wings and does all that cool stuff. So for all you Boxster and E30 owners out there, that's the one you want to get.
Nice. Nice. Do you have to take points for the car cover?
No, car covers are free
Oh.
unless you're racing with it on it.
Unless you're racing with it on it. I don't
But
recommend
what
that.
it does, no, but what it does is it keeps the rain and the snow and the birds and most importantly that dew off the inside of your windows overnight. It's hard to, wipe off some of these cars. You got the roll cages, you've got all that stuff in there, you got all your electronics on the dash. You got some big old fat guy like me getting inside of it and trying to wipe off the windows, knocking into everything, knocking your mirrors off and breaking things. And yeah, you don't want that. So just throw a car cover over it and you don't have to do that.
Yep. Or you could just grab a space heater and stuff it in there for an hour before you
and
go.
then you start cracking glass.
There you go. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Melting that Lexan window. Nothing's better.
Nothing's better than a melted windshield. Oh gosh. All right. Anything else before we head out of the head to break and head off to talk to Mr. Kuhn?
Winter is coming.
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
I was watching the Dragon show last night.
Oh yeah. I won't. This is not the proper podcast for a review on that, but I've heard that. Did your TV come to a crashing halt?
No. Mine was actually pretty good. It worked pretty good.
I guess HBO Max crashed.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I saw the rerun. I didn't see it live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, during the live, it was not so good. So
crash. That's funny.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna talk with Greg Kuhn here coming up next on Inside ChampCar. Right after this quick break, we'll do that next.
Every race weekend, you don't know what's going to happen. But with ChampCar.live, all the action comes right into your living room. The ChampCar Endurance Series is North America's home to real competitive endurance road racing. And ChampCar.live brings you live, full race coverage with in-car, trackside cameras, interviews, and expert commentary. And ChampCar.live brings you live, full race coverage with in-car and trackside cameras, interviews, and expert commentary. Check out ChampCar.live on the web, subscribe, and ring the bell so as not to miss a single minute of the action. It's fun, free, informative, and it's just a click away. ChampCar.live. Come check us out. We bring you a front row seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Welcome back to Inside ChampCar. Brian Bielanski here. Bill Strong's there. And joining us right now, Greg Kuhn, Two Brothers Racing, and a big and good weekend at Road America. And you were in Gingerman this weekend, right?
Yeah, Gingerman.
We were talking. I said Road America because we're Wisconsinites, even though I'm in LA, and we were reminiscing, kind of like old home day. But you were at Gingerman this weekend. And
yeah, I was completely lost. I didn't know what we were talking about. St. Clouds. All kinds of weird names. Indian names, it sounded like some of them.
That would be Native American names, Bill. We're trying to keep everybody happy.
I'm sorry. I am one of them.
Yes, you are. You of all people, right?
Yeah.
You of all people.
So, Greg, you guys almost kicked some butt there. A third on Saturday, second on Sunday. But before we get to that, Brian has a question for you.
So how did you get messed up in this car thing that we do?
It's kind of funny. I have a brother-in-law who has a Subaru BRZ that I hate. And he did autocross, and he's like, "Hey, you got to come and do winter autocross with me."
Winter autocross
at Road America.
I thought we called that ice racing in Wisconsin.
Kind of is, except there's pavement underneath. So we went, and he was good, like really good. He won the class. I ended up first time ever driving, finishing third in his Subaru BRZ. And subsequently, I think it was the next autocross, like, you got to come do it again. And I took my 3/4 ton Cummins mega cab in 4-wheel drive, fully built engine, and finished 24th out of 52 entries. Won the drag race event,
of course,
at Road America. And he was getting married. And I hate generic gifts. So when I got married, I got plates and cups and a
Right.
vacuum cleaner and all the crap that guys don't care about.
Of course.
So I made a deal with him. I would give him $1,000 towards a project car for him and I to build into an autocross car, so we don't beat on his daily.
Right.
I felt bad when I hit a cone because I was good at that. So he calls me and he's like, hey, this guy at Road America that works for Road America has this car for sale. I think this would be a good project car. Let's go take a look at it. So I drive down to Sheboygan and it is a race car. I'm like, Andy, this is not a project car. It's got a roll cage in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what you're getting into. And he's like, I think it's super cool. It happens to be this Mercedes 190E that neither of us have experience with. I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you. And it has the Cosworth 16 valve motor in it. And we had no idea what we were getting. We bought it for $4,000 and brought it home. And it had a sticker on it that said ChampCar. So I fired up the Google machine and was like, this is interesting. Now, I've been a race fan my entire life. I've never raced ever prior to this.
When was this? When was this?
This was 2017.
Oh,
Okay.
so I was doing the website then. So wow, cool.
Yeah. And I showed it to him. He's like, well, that would be fun. And I'm like, we need other people. And
Of course.
that's where the other two brothers came in.
Okay.
It was his wife's bosses that he has met at company parties. And he's like, they're car guys. Maybe they want to do it. And we asked, they said yes. And yeah, the rest is history.
So is it 4 brothers racing and not 2 brothers racing?
It's 2 sets of 2 brothers. So technically it should be 2 brothers squared.
I mean, I'm Polish, so you lost me at squared.
Yeah.
It's a great story. I love it. I love it.
So no real car. Now are you a mechanic?
No. So my wife, her father grew up at the racetrack. He worked on late models.
Oh, so that explains how you're able to do this as a newlywed.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
most of the time they're still trying to, go ahead and do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it out of your system.
They don't hate you yet. So
Yeah. So that he's the one I learned how to work on cars from.
Cool.
When I was dating her, stuff would break. He'd be like that useless kid and I'm small. I'm only 5'5", and I got tiny hands, and he's a huge human being. So
there's so many jokes to go to. There's so many places to go with that. I'm so sorry.
The kid that was useless sitting on the couch would get drug out into the garage and, hey, we're changing brakes today, So that's where I learned.
So he kept you away from his daughter is what it was.
I fixed a lot of cars with that man. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now picking a Mercedes though, was that the smart thing to do?
Oh, it was awful. So we'll go into the first. Aaron Christensen at Quantum Performance has helped us out a lot. And I got hooked up with him through Mike, one of the guys that we race with. And Mike wanted to see the car on the dyno. He wanted to make sure it could run. We bought it knowing that it had problems. So the problem was it was the old mechanical fuel injection.
Right.
And all the wiring, this car, we have documentation on this car being raced since 1991.
wow.
So it's been around the block.
And it
The
looks
wiring-
great.
Well, I photoshopped the hell out of that photo.
Okay. I mean, it looks good.
No, it doesn't.
So the wiring's a mess. I ended up figuring out through the wiring diagrams that there was potentiometers or rheostats essentially in line, and that's what was causing the car to run like crap. So I bought rheostats, installed them on our dash, and you could literally dial the resistance in to how you wanted the car run. So I show up to the dyno, and Aaron is like, dude, there's no way. Like, there's no way. And it worked. It worked like a charm. He couldn't believe it. So we had this whole thing of where the car should run good, and we took it out to Road America. Ironically, it was supposed to be the first race when it got snowed out. And there's a track day just after that. We went out to the track day, and as soon as you hit a curb, the car ran great, by the way. But as soon as you hit a curb with that car, it would shake the mechanical fuel injection, and it would go to like 18-to-1 air fuel ratio and completely lay on its face.
That's not the right
But
way to do it.
all this work, and it's trash. So no, the Mercedes was an awful choice. You can't find parts.
Yeah.
But it's unique. It's a crowd pleaser, I would say. We get a lot of compliments on it, that it's super cool.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it handles better than any vehicle I've ever driven. It is so even keeled on the track. It's so forgiving. And for endurance racing, that's perfect.
What does that thing weigh?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
So I drove an Evolution, the 80, I want to say 89, 90.
If it was an Evo 1, it would have been like an 889.
Yeah, 89 or yeah. I drove one of those. Not as fast as you would think. It looked fast. It was heavy as hell though.
Yeah.
But,
So
it was quick.
we got our car down to no fuel, no driver, 2420.
That's still pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I call it premium dude. Have you ever seen the inside of the premium dude's car?
Yeah.
There's nothing. We did that.
Yeah.
There's nothing left of the car.
Well, that's a way to do it. I mean, we have no minimum weight standards, so which is good. It allows you to do crazy things.
You guys do tech tips? Here's my tech tip. If you're racing in ChampCar, get your car as light as you possibly can. Skimp on nothing. If it's not serving a purpose, get rid of it.
You know, all those little brackets that hold everything on, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
basically,
yeah.
If Bill's on your team, get rid of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a really big guy on our team, and he's always like, God, I don't know why I'm so much slower than you. And I just kind of look at him like, carry an extra 125 pounds, Mike. You know.
That's Troy. Troy does it.
I do a lot of bike riding, and my favorite is when the 200-pound guy is buying like, a $4,000 bicycle because it's saving him a half a pound. I'm like, dude, have one less beer. You've just saved yourself $4,000.
Yeah.
That's great.
I always tell the guys it's easier to lose. At this point, it's now easier to lose weight off of yourself than it is for me to lose weight off of the car.
Absolutely.
Wasn't always like that.
Absolutely. So this all started in 2017. We're now what, 4 or 5 years later. How much ChampCar racing have you done so far? Roughly.
We've done 3 events a year.
Okay.
We've tried to do 4, but life has gotten in the way. So.
Of course. What's the draw? I mean, is it just hanging out with your buddies at the racetrack, having a good time?
To be honest with you, it started out that way.
Yeah.
And then we saw some success, and I think the team in the middle portion of those years went to, hey, we got to go out and win. And then we realized, like, who the hell cares if we win? Like, we're getting to, Mike said it once. He's like, we get to spend our time doing things as kids we said we wanted to do. We legitimately drove a race car around Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
And no one can take that away from us. How many people can say they did that?
Yeah, not
and
many.
So for the last couple of years, the last 2 years, that's what it's gotten back to. Is just, let's go to the race. Let's go to the racetrack. Let's have fun. Let's try to be competitive, obviously. But at the end of the day, we're doing this to have fun. So that's where we're at now.
Well, and this past weekend, 3rd place Saturday, 2nd place Sunday. So you're having fun and running up front. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest with you, the car hasn't changed in 3 years. So that'll tell you where you need to spend your money.
Right.
Get more track time.
Right.
So you can't blame it on that Cosworth?
No. That thing. Yeah, no.
But it's English and German. They shouldn't work together.
it works. I have no complaints about the motor. That thing owes us nothing.
Yeah.
That's the original motor in the car.
Now the suspension on those things, isn't it like 20 link just on one side, one corner, and
That's
does all kinds of
5
funky stuff? Yeah, whatever. It's
Yeah.
but it's pretty technical stuff. I mean, Mercedes always, their advertising showed all kinds of really cool engineering photos, and when you own them back then, you never did work on it yourself. You always took it to the dealership. I mean, how hard was that to learn how to set that car up?
That was pretty easy considering you couldn't buy anything but OEM stuff for it. Nobody makes any performance parts.
Yeah, because there's
no tuner parts for this.
No, there's no anodized anything on it.
Yeah, we actually got Ground Control, of all people, has a 190E that they race. So there's a ground control kit for it.
Right.
Okay.
And we got aftermarket springs and height adjustable springs on it. We got coilovers on the front. The coilovers made it a heck of a lot easier setting the suspension up, I'll tell you that much.
Sure.
But to be honest with you, I think we could achieve the same performance level with the stock stuff, not now having the knowledge of 5 years of racing behind us.
Right. I'm guessing the coilovers just made the learning curve a little bit faster because it was easier to change things.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So if you could do it again, is a Mercedes the car you'd do this time?
Oh boy.
It's a pretty robust car, though.
Here's the deal. Probably not a 16 valve.
Okay.
Because we wouldn't be in the situation we're in starting next year. So,
what's that? What do you mean by that?
There's a little bit of we've been told they don't want the 16 valve competing in the series anymore. So
there's other 16 valves out there. What's up with that one?
It's I've heard a number of responses from the board, anything from there's not enough made, which is false, to it's a special.
Has to be 1,000 or more.
Yeah, and there's way more than 1,000 that were imported to the U.S.
Right.
That if that it's a specialty model, we don't want specialty models on the VPI list. Which, I mean, if you look
1,000 models.
Yeah. So there hasn't been every response I've gotten from the board on that car has been rebutted with things that, hey, the rule book says that it's allowed. Give me a better reason, and rules are rules. As racers, we all, if we're good, we're gonna play in the gray areas of the rules, right? And we expect it. So one thing that racers, I think, can't handle is hypocrisy in the rules. And when you're a team that feels that other teams are doing the same things that you are, and you're being treated differently, that kind of stings a little bit. So I don't know. We haven't gotten an official ruling on it yet, but we've been told by a couple board members that after 2023, the model's not going to be allowed anymore. So we got to move to something different. So we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything like that, but what am I?
What am I?
So it is.
You're a member. You are a member that races and pays to go racing.
If that happens, is it just a motor switch to go to something else, or are you going to just start with a whole new car?
LS it? You gonna LS that bitch?
I would love it. I would love it. That thing would be a lot of fun with an LS in it. We thought about motor swapping it, but you don't get away with a motor swap. You don't get away from all the negatives of being a Mercedes. Like for instance, this weekend at Gingerman, we broke a drive shaft guibo, which we have never had a problem with ever. We drove to Indianapolis to find.
That was on Friday, right?
Yeah, on Friday in practice, we broke a drive shaft guibo. We had to drive to Indianapolis from Gingerman to find a drive shaft guibo because some dork didn't put the spares in the tank trailer.
Is the dork named Greg?
Might have been.
Okay. I just wanted to put it out there. And for those who don't know, I mean, That's a good 4.5-hour drive each way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a short drive.
It broke at noon, right before the lunch break.
Okay.
So we prepped the rest of the car. They got back at 9:15.
Yeah.
And at 1 o'clock, we crawled into bed.
Wow.
What's a guibo?
It's the rubber damper that's at the end of the, they call them flex joints on the drive shaft.
Yeah,
But
it's around the U-joint, right?
well, it attaches to the differential and the transmission, and then the drive shaft attaches to that.
Right.
What's that do? Does that just take out vibrations from the shaft itself?
That's exactly what it does.
They make solid ones for BMWs, but they don't make them for Mercedes. So
I always, though, and this is just me, and I don't know about the situation and what the discussions are, but there's lots of Miatas out there. There's plenty of Mustangs out there, but when you got a unique car like a Mercedes, and it's out there having fun, and those are the cars I want to go look at. I don't need to look at another Miata. I've seen them.
Here's the deal, and we had this discussion this weekend with one of the board members. If there's a car on the grid that I think exemplifies what ChampCar is about, it's ours.
Uh-huh.
Like it is that car. It's unique. It's not overly fast. We're quick. There's no doubt, but it's exactly what the series should be about. We bought that car for $4,000, and it came with like 12 wheels, 2 cases of oil, the trailer was stacked with parts for $4,000 caged.
Yeah.
Good luck finding a car that you can buy for $4,000 now.
Yeah.
Now I've
And
got
it's
3 of the
cool.
things sitting in the freaking back.
Yeah.
Party.
And the 190 looks so cool. I just think in race mode with big wide tires and dropped on
does.
the ground, they just look so freaking cool.
They do. Yep.
They look like a grown-up car, not like those little kiddie cars that the rest of the Germans use.
And it's a 4-door. You can take your family for a ride.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's I like to see more 5 series in this series too, but
Yeah.
So what's on tap for 2 brothers divided by 6 to the square root of 7 racing for the rest of the year?
We're gonna do a Road America.
Okay.
Mainly because it's in September, and we probably will never get to race that track in September again. And we don't want to race in the snow, so there's a shot that it might actually be decent weather.
I was gonna say, there could be snow in September at Road America.
I know, but late October is a lot better chance.
That's true.
or it could be 110. So
That's
it's
also true.
Yeah. I think it was last year, the fall race. It transitioned to snow in the last 30 minutes.
Yes.
And I didn't say anything to the guys. We were running really well. And I didn't say anything to the boys, but the throttle was stuck at 3,500 RPM. So I was having to clutch it to get into the corners.
Like it was icing up.
No, for the last hour and a half, it was hung
Oh,
up.
wow.
The throttle cable.
It was still pretty cold too. So
yeah, the throttle cable just hung, and so I was going into the bend, and I kept hitting the brakes harder and harder, and the car wouldn't slow down, and I couldn't figure it out. So finally, I put the clutch in, and I look at the RPMs; they're at 3,500 to $4,000, and I'm like, that makes more sense.
yeah.
So the last 30 minutes, I called him, and I'm like, I suppose this is a bad time to tell you guys that the throttle's been stuck for the last hour. Are you pulling it in?
No.
No, not till it's in the wall.
I would always say, I there's something wrong, but I'm driving through it.
Yeah.
I've got it mastered. Of course, the next guy in, it's like, what the heck?
Yeah, you couldn't give the car to someone else because they drive it right off of turn 1 into the tire barrier.
We have no ABS on our cars, so it's customary at the end of the weekend. We call it the 2 brothers shake. There's always a little bit of 2 brothers shake coming off those tires at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I like that flat spotted look. I had a driver that at Laguna Seca complained about the tires shaking. I'm like, dude, just drive through it. Just go faster. You'll be all right. He goes, then I hear about maybe a couple laps later, I hear, I fixed it, coming in. He just basically flat spotted that whole tire, popped a nice big hole you could stick your hand in.
That's funny.
So he got a new tire out of it. he did his job.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. All right, Bill, anything else before we head out?
Nah, just we thank you for racing with us, man. You guys do pretty well. You got your family out there with you guys, and that's always something good to do. And it's always fun watching you guys race. I do like that 190E. They just look so good out there, and it's the right color for a Mercedes. You didn't go overboard on making it all, you know, what do you call that? Art carish. You know, it looks like a Mercedes. So
Yeah.
good for you, man.
It's customary that if you ever watch us before the race, we get the Windex out and we spray the front grille and we polish up the Mercedes symbol and make sure it's straight. The marshals are like, no, everybody's behind the wall. And we're like, just a second. We're polishing the Mercedes symbol. They say it's the crosshairs, so we know who we have to go after.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. All right. Well, I got to tell you, it's good to get together with someone from Wisconsin who understands what it's like to deal with the elements at a racetrack. That's the highlight of my day. So, all right. Greg Kuhn from Two Brothers Racing. When we come back, we're going to talk about the upcoming race at Thompson. That's next on Inside ChampCar.
Inside ChampCar is a podcast that takes a deep dive into all things going on with the ChampCar Endurance Series. Hosted by veteran journalist, radio host, and racer Brian Bielanski and ChampCar's very own Bill Strong, we talk to drivers, team bosses, tech gurus, and series supporters. Episodes air every week in time for you to listen on your way to the track. Inside ChampCar is on the Racing Wire Podcast Network, found on Apple, Spotify, Google, and most popular podcasting apps.
Welcome back to Inside ChampCar. Brian Bielanski, Bill Strong, talking racing. With it's always good to have people from Wisconsin who know what a good bottle of Leinenkugels tastes like.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about. All that French stuff.
It's not French. You've never had a Leinenkugels? Do you drink beer?
I did.
Okay, not so much.
Yeah. No, I'm more into the Dutch stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, Leine's is a Wisconsin specialty beer.
Yeah.
Not even
There's some
specialty
other
beer.
one up there. Everybody seems to get crazy over. I don't know the name of it, but it's, that's a big thing with those. When we go to Road America, it's like there was always this big beer swap
Of
that
course.
guys do.
Of course.
I'm more interested in the supper clubs because
yes.
I like food.
Friday night fish fries.
Well, the roast beef.
Oh yeah.
It's like platter size. An inch thick and the au jus and just so good. Yeah, I love the supper clubs.
I love it.
Hey, guess where we're going?
You're going to Connecticut.
Connecticut. Yes, we are. The Great White Northeast.
Yeah.
They're headed to. And always a great race at Thompson Speedway, one of the oldest tracks in the country. It's a fun track. Use part of the circle track and the rest of the road course on the outside of it. Really great place to take pictures because there's just such cool little areas. Like there's this one spot that cars come under the bridge, and they just appear, and I can't wait. I love photographing at that track. Did a lot of ad pictures over the last couple of years there. But yeah, we're headed there. We have 42 cars signed up right now. Of course, the fan favorite, Rissell Racing, not the racer favorite, because they're one of our top teams and national champion car. Vissel Racing will be there. Rossmar Racing, they brought 2 or 3 cars. The official, unofficial Porsche Racing, that's a cool one. It's a Boxster. We have a lot of Porsche Boxsters in this race here. Mass Hole will be there. Miss Cube Motorsports, the whole family shows up there. Always a good team to watch race. MLC Racing, they've got 3 cars. Full Send's going to be there. Falkensteiner's there. Boston Winers, longtime ChampCar racers. They're there with 3 cars, and All Roads Racing, spelled like Rhode Island. So I'm guessing they're from Rhode Island.
What one would hope.
I would
or
think
they
so.
just
And
can't spell.
Warrior Racing's there, and then Kruger SNL Kruger Autosport. I don't know if that's the same thing as Kruger Racing. I don't think it is, because I think they're out Texas way.
Right.
Lots of teams showing up here. We have let me pull this up here real quick. We have an expense report I was looking at. Oh, here we go. Thompson 12-hour Friday gates open at 9 a.m. ChampCar Tech and registrations open up at 11. Thompson Speedway is having a test day that starts at 1 p.m. So if you just go download the SUPs, the link to the test days on there, the costs and fees and all that stuff. Any special instructions. Test day ends at 5. We have our novice and new to ChampCar and novice school at 5 p.m. So interesting. The new to ChampCar novice schools. It's not just for folks that have never raced before.
Right.
It's folks that have never raced with ChampCar before.
Got it. Okay.
We've had everybody, what we want is everybody on the same page.
Yep.
Everybody, the flags, we might do things slightly different than your XYZ, whatever, or as some cases, some folks will say XYZ, racing series. So we may do it differently than them. So we try not to, but you never know.
Right.
And you'll get some little hints on how we do things, especially with pit lane, how we handle pit stops and that kind of stuff.
Do you do that every Friday night before a race or just on particular
Yes,
races?
it's every, we kind of went virtual and we kind of had to get rid of it during COVID, but it's slowly coming back. And I know my SUPs, it's not on every one of them. It's getting back.
Nice.
It's getting back on there. So yes, every race will do it. If you don't see it, ask.
Yep.
Just ask us. Don't assume that it's not going to be happening, but it will. And even if we only have one new guy there, the event director will have a personal talk with them.
Nice.
They'll take them off the side, show them what we're doing. And, we've done that many, many times before. Remember, track damage fees are passed on to the team. So stay away from the walls, fences, trees, anything. Just stay on the blacktop track, or if it's concrete, stay on that too. All headlights and taillights, because this is a night race, all headlights and taillights must be installed and turned on by 5 p.m. We are up by the Arctic Circle, so the sun does go down.
You
early.
are not by the Arctic Circle.
It's Connecticut. Isn't that up there by the Arctic Circle?
You were closer to the Arctic Circle last weekend at Gingerman than you are in Connecticut. My Lord.
Stop using science. So, and rain lights are recommended, but not required per the BCCR. So if it does rain there, it does get kind of hard to see, especially with all these cars, their wings. Quiet time between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And all this information can be found at champcar.org. And just click on the events calendar and you can download all the SUPs and right there and see who your competitors are too. Not a lot of lights on pit lane, so bring your own. Not a lot of power. Bring your generators, quiet ones preferably, because loud ones give me headaches. There is fuel on site. They do sell it on site. Don't know how the costs are, but most likely, I don't know, 60 cents a gallon.
Sure.
Maybe
660 or 760 a gallon.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
So unlike a lot of weekends, this is a single 12-hour enduro, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Got a 12-hour drive up there, and you do 12 hours the racing, and
12-hour drive home
Sunday, which is really nice.
Yeah,
which is really nice actually. We were planning on doing a show, but we have a sold out Mid Ohio, and I don't have the bandwidth to do that. That is a requirement. I have to do that show with some sponsorship stuff. So we're not going to be doing a live show there. I will be taking pictures. We will have another photographer on site. So lots of photos and videos of you guys will pop up on the internet somewhere.
Nice.
Hopefully of you on and in winner's circle, holding those big ChampCar trophies. So we will see you guys on, we start arriving on Thursday. We'll be at the track Friday morning, and it's going to be a great weekend.
Cool.
It's going to be nice. I'm probably going to be 80 degrees up in Connecticut this time of year.
The only problem with going up on the weekend you're going up is that it's not quite deep enough into the fall to see the colors change, which is gorgeous in Connecticut. That's one of the highlights of the fall up there.
I'm driving my Spider. I don't like it when leaves fall on my cars.
Oh, poor thing.
Take corners fast and all the leaves are on the ground. And
poor thing.
Am
I supposed to feel sorry for you?
I know. I could take the big truck, but diesel's expensive up there and hard to find. Most everybody drives electric.
That is
all
true.
Right. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend. I'm just thinking here, what else? Track maps on the SUPs. Lots of cool cars gonna be racing. Should be fun.
Yep. And we'll talk about it a little bit more next week, too, since there's no
Yeah.
races coming weekend. So, awesome. Anything else before we head out?
Nope. I'm trying to think. No.
All right. Then that's going to do it for another episode of Inside ChampCar. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any episodes. It would also be great if you share it on your social media channels. Comment on the ChampCar Facebook page. Only if it's a good one. Bad ones go to Bill's page. We have new episodes every week. He's Bill Strong. I'm Brian Bielanski. This is the Racing Wire Podcast Network.